Hello everyone, welcome. So if you're like me, you've been a little sad about the demise of JoAnn. And it sounds like JoAnn and Michaels are trying to become one. I don't know what's happening with that. But what I do know is that I like supporting smaller businesses, family-owned businesses. And I found one that for me is replacing JoAnn. I'm going to talk about that today on Key Lime Ink. This is the channel where I talk about art, journaling, planning, and anything to do with making your paper look pretty. I will, as per usual, put links in the description to everything I talk about today in case you would like to get something for yourself or a gift for someone else. And I will also put timestamps in the first pinned comment so you can jump back and forth through the sections. Today we're talking about a company called A Cherry on Top. They are a family business based in Michigan, and I wanted to walk you through some of the fun things that I was able to find on their website that for me make them a pretty nice replacement for JoAnn for journaling supplies and scrapbooking supplies. All right, so first of all, you should know that when you order from them, they are extremely careful about packaging. So it's not like Amazon where they just throw it in a box. These are very nicely packaged. I should turn this around so the logo is actually right side up. But I ordered some scrapbook paper. So my box is the size of like a great big piece of scrapbook paper. And then inside they had, it was much more well organized than this. I took things out to try them and play with them, and so I don't have it exactly the way she had it. But Katie packed this and she wrote me a thank you note. Thank you, Katie. Amazon doesn't do that. All right, so I was able to find a lot of these things on clearance or on a sale or on a buy one, get one kind of thing. They have, it's kind of like JoAnn where once you start shopping from them, you get a lot of different offers and you kind of learn what the best deals are going to be. So let's go this way. First of all, they have a lot of the pens, the colored pencils, the things like Tombow and Mono drawing pens they had available. These are Sharpie permanent markers in many different colors, and you can just get one instead of a whole set. Prismacolor, same thing. So I have a great big set of Prismacolor, but there are some that I go through a lot faster than others. So for example, this is blue indigo and this one is magenta. I use these for Bible journaling, and I was able to replace just the colors I needed, and they happen to be on sale, so yay. Yeah, it's great. Anywhere that I can get a single Prismacolor is a winner in my book. Then, of course, they are known for stamping items. So you could get stamp pads. I didn't need any this time, but I got several new clear stamp sets. And this first one is called Simple Stories, The Little Things. It has 16 stamps. There's a little bit of lettering, choose joy, live life in full bloom, etc. But I'm usually here for the illustrations. I like to stamp them and then do ink and wash watercolor over them in my traveler's notebooks. And so here's a little camera, which is great because I'm a photographer. This is a typewriter with flowers. We've got birds. We've got what I'm going to call a lime. I think it's a lemon, but I'm going to use it as a lime for Key Lime Ink, my channel. Strawberry, more flowers, and oh, what a beautiful day. So this is a super cute collection. This one has been so useful already. It's called Serendipity by Becky Moore Photo Play, photopolymer clear stamps. And this has, you can see, I've already used this a bunch. It has this wedge of a lemon or a lime. Again, useful for Key Lime Ink, but also useful for watercolor testing. So this is a Wanderings Traveler's Notebook insert. I'll put a link to where I get these as well. You can usually find them on both Etsy and Amazon. I love Wanderings inserts. They just take watercolor exceptionally, so I can use both sides of the page if I want to. And they're a little more budget friendly than the Traveler's Company inserts. So anyway, What I like about these is that I can do sort of a color wheel. So I'll take like my brightest magenta, the closest thing I have to magenta, a really good clean clear mixing yellow, a phthalo blue, and a burnt umber. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I mix the magenta and the yellow to get an orange, mix the phthalo blue and the yellow to get a green, mix the phthalo blue and the burnt umber to get more of like a teal color, and then the burnt umber and the magenta to get like a wine burgundy color. And it's a fun way to compare my different watercolor sets kind of head to head, or to practice any kind of like a minimalist palette. If I want to simplify things and only use 4 colors that day, I can kind of play around and see what kind of colors I can get from those. So this has been a really, really useful stamp from this photo play set. This is a little watercolor palette. We've got a brush. We've got a super cute bubblegum machine with heart-shaped bubblegums, a cherry for a cherry on top, which is the name of the shop. And this is a coffee cup. So I have mostly used this one. It has been worth the whole set just to get this so that I can make little color wheels. All right, the next one is from Picket Fence Studios. It's called Freckle Friends Artist Annie. And how adorable is she? So these are separate stamps. You can use just the little girl, or you can mix and match. So we've got her, and we've got a sweet little easel, a little bit of a watercolor palette, and a couple words. Let me show you what that looks like painted out. Okay, and so here is this artist Annie from Picket Fence Studios, painted out, stamped. It's kind of messed up. I started with her a little bit more blonde. It looked absolutely perfect. I could have been finished, but I wanted it to look more like me, so I tried to give her kind of some highlights and lowlights, and yeah, that didn't go as well. But anyway, she's cute. And I just want to give you a tip for when you are stamping and painting or coloring, and that is to narrow the number of colors that you're using. So in real life, I might have had a different color apron. I might not have been painting flowers the same color as my shirt, for example. But to make it kind of a cohesive little painting, I had her have the same color paint for the flowers and on her little paintbrush here as her bow and the stripes in her shirt. And then I had the same green, sap green, for the flowers. I made her apron color. And then the coffee cup is the same color as her jeans, and her eyes. So it just kind of makes it a little bit more cohesive. The other funny thing is that when I purchased this, I had absolutely, you see some things and not others. I didn't realize, I had purchased this, received it, stamped it, and did not realize until I started painting that there is a bluebird on her shoulder. How cute is that? So I painted the little bluebird to paint along with her. All right, so just an example of something you can do with that set. This is a Leuchtturm 1917, which is my favorite journal of all time. This is just the classic 80 GSM Leuchtturm, and long-standing company based in Germany. They're fantastic to work with, and they have many different colors of these lovely notebooks. So link in the description to that. All right, the next little set I have not tried yet, but I'm ready for Christmas season. So this is from Paige Evans, and we've got Santa, some holly, Christmas tree, snowflakes, poinsettia, gingerbread boy, and Merry Christmas. So that'll be fun to use. So then I'll show you the papers that I got. And I wondered, shipping wise, usually when I wanted something like journaling cards, I would actually go into the store at JoAnn and pick out what I wanted, and then I would very, very carefully put it in the back seat so that I didn't get crushed on the way home. And I thought, how are they going to ship something like that? Well, what they do is they put them in a clear bag like this on a nice sturdy backing card, and then they fold over the excess and tape it. So this was not going anywhere. And then it goes in that big box like this. So absolutely perfect packaging. So these arrived in fantastic shape. And they're just so ridiculously pretty. Let's see. They do have info. Well, one of them has info on the back. This one on top is Carta Bella Paper Company, and it's called 3x4 journaling cards. And I'll figure out exactly what the line is and put a link to it in the description. But the back has rainbows and the front has these journaling cards. I don't use great big 12x12 sheets of scrapbook paper very much, if ever, anymore for the big sheets. What I use them for is when they come like these little cards, so that I can just cut one out, put it in the center of the page, you know, and then on the right side of the page, I'll write about it. They're just cute. They're so cute. So this one is Here Comes Spring. The world is in full bloom. Hello, sunshine. Hello, spring. We missed your green grass, warm sunshine, beautiful flowers. Welcome, spring. This one is empty. You can put your own quote. There is beauty all around. Be happy, B-E-E. Where flowers bloom, so does hope. Love that. May the flowers remind us why the rain was so necessary. Fresh flowers market, seed stems blooms, fresh cut daily. Together is my favorite place to be, and spring is in the air. Really, really sweet. And this cardstock is awesome. It's textured, it's sturdy, it's extremely good quality. So that's from Carta Bella Paper Company. And then this one is a set of stickers. I have never had one of these before. I've had sticker books, I've had loose stickers. I've never had these great big 12x12 sheets of stickers. And this one is from Simple Stories. Simple Vintage Autumn Breeze is what this one is called. And they're called cardstock stickers. They're not super glossy. They're also not super matte. They're kind of in between. And look at this, ready for fall. Today is October 1st, so it's time to celebrate the arrival of autumn, and we have all the things. Is there pumpkin spice latte on here? Maybe not, but all the other things. So umbrella for those fall rains, sunflowers, cute little squirrel, hedgehog, pumpkins, raccoon, pumpkin pie, little hat for that first chilly night, sweater weather, and then you have words just to add. These go really well in my planner layout, just to add a cute little crisp burst of color with a word. And then this is the border down here at the bottom. And yeah, they are stickers. They pull off like this, and they're a little bit thicker than a typical sticker, but they're not super thick. They're not like the big puffy kind. They're just sturdy, really nice. They remind me of the Paper House seasonal sticker book stickers that I use all the time. And a lot of these are small enough to go in my planner, which is great. Some of the flowers, definitely these hearts are small enough. And then the bigger ones I'll probably use in my journal. So that's just a peek at some of the things that a cherry on top offers. And I really do think they are a lovely company to work with, especially if you, in looking for a replacement for JoAnn, would like to support a small family-owned business. And they're in Michigan, so link in the description to all these things. Thank you so much for being here. I'd love to know where you're shopping instead of JoAnn. If you were a busy JoAnn customer, where are you going now? Let us know in the comments section and let's make this a discussion. Thanks again for being here. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.